Hi everyone, it's Kyle. I'm back to do a quick update, hopefully a quick update. Where I left off was, I think, the intralipids, which for me was a really simple process. You go to an infusion center or you have a home nurse come to your door and you get an IV full of intralipids and you just sit there for 2 to 3 hours with this medication going into your body. So really, there's nothing to it. The needle going in hurt like a mother. Other than that, it was honestly no big deal. And the IV coming out, you don't even feel it. So if you have any questions about that process, I'd be happy to answer them based on my experience. But honestly, there's not a whole lot to it. You go in, you get an IV, and you wait. After that, we had the egg retrieval, which you guys know went amazing for me. I can't even believe we had 28 eggs. It's just still absolutely blows my mind. I mean, that's just crazy. I did develop ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, as you could imagine, but I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. I honestly cannot imagine severe OHSS because I only had mild to moderate and I felt like crap. So I can't imagine severe. I had that feeling where you can't necessarily catch a breath. Like, it just felt like you were trying so hard to take a deep breath and you couldn't, like, your lungs just wouldn't expand. Cramping. I was not necessarily cramping. I would say just really tender. Like, when you're on the stimming medications, you can feel your ovaries actually, like, making the eggs. Like, you know your ovaries are doing something because they're very tender. So imagine that times, like, 100 because it just hurts. Everything is swollen. The bloat this time was incredible. Just to give you guys an idea, on any given day I weigh 100 pounds. I weighed 100 pounds the day of the egg retrieval, and the next day I weighed 108 pounds, and that's all bloat and fluid. It's just unbelievable. The weight went down, I'd say, over 2 to 3 days. It was fluctuating back and forth between 106 and 107, and then 2 or 3 days from then it went back down to like 105 to 104. So I knew I was going in the right direction, and I had mentioned it to my doctor, so he was very concerned and he wanted to see me if I was starting to feel worse, but I only was continually starting to feel better. Plus, my pain tolerance is through the roof. I mean, I've been through a lot of traumatic stuff, and I just don't feel like I have such a high pain tolerance, so I can't necessarily say, like, this hurt so bad, because it really wasn't like that. I mean, overall, it was a crappy feeling, but I wasn't, like, in dire pain where I needed to pop pain meds. So when I finally went back in for the transfer, I was lying to myself, I was lying to the doctor, I was lying to Chris, and I don't want to say lying in a way that I was deceiving anyone, but when they asked me how I felt, literally in my head, I felt like, okay, well, I had 28 eggs retrieved. I feel pretty good for that. I wouldn't expect to feel 100%, but I felt like I'm doing well. So when I said I was doing well or I felt okay, I knew I probably should have been a little bit more honest with myself and the doctor and Chris and tell them, you know what, I don't feel like myself. I guess that's the best way to put it. I don't want to say I was in pain, but just overall, you don't feel 100% like yourself, I guess. So when we went back in for the egg retrieval, or the embryo transfer, they, of course, check out your ovaries through an ultrasound, and right away, the doctor was just blown away. He said, your ovaries are so big. And I could see him on the screen. Obviously, I knew they were big. If I can tell what I'm looking at on an ultrasound screen, they're big. So then he showed me 2 dark spots on the ultrasound, and he said those spots are pockets of fluid, and obviously you have ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, and we want to be super careful. He said there's no way I would, put you through this transfer knowing if you get pregnant, you're going to get so unbelievably sick. Your ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome is going to go through the roof because your body creates HCG, which just makes OHSS 10 times worse. Or, we put these embryos in you and your body's so overstimulated anyway, and since you're not healthy, what makes you think the babies would be healthy, or the embryos would even stick, and I don't want to waste embryos. So I knew in my heart this was the best decision for us, but it was devastating at the time. You go in thinking, like, this is the day I might be pregnant until, proven otherwise, and to have that taken away from you in a matter of seconds is devastating. And it took a good 2 or 3 hours to let the information digest and to understand that we made the best decision in waiting. We were able to freeze 8 embryos, which is just amazing. I feel so blessed in that aspect. I can't believe that. We went from having just 1 frozen to having 8, well, 7, so now we have a total of 8. And those 8 have been prayed on, they've been prayed for, and I feel so good about them. And in the meantime, I'm coming off the medications, which is not fun. I want them out of my body like yesterday. I have hot flashes I'm having one right now, kind of. I'd say maybe I have them 3 times an hour, which is annoying. You get really sweaty really fast, and then you were freezing because you were sweating. Headaches, and that's really it for me, I think. Headaches and hot flashes, which was the same as it was the last time I was getting off the medication, so I kind of expected that. The last time we did the beta, it was like our first round. When I went to do the beta, that's when I actually started to see blood. I was bleeding, so the doctor told me that within 2 weeks I should start my withdrawal bleed, which would be in about a week from now. So if that doesn't happen within the next week, I can't let it go past 4 weeks without calling a doctor. So if I don't start bleeding within 4 weeks, I'll call the doctor. I don't know if they give me something to jumpstart that or not, but then afterwards they want you to have a natural period on your own, and then after that you can do a frozen embryo transfer. So I have a while to go yet. We don't expect to do a frozen embryo transfer until possibly July or August, and to be honest with you, I think we might even push that out on our own until maybe even, August, September, October, only because I want my body to be at the best possible physical health, and Chris and I want to enjoy our summer. If we're still going to try naturally on our own, and if we would happen to get pregnant miraculously through God, that would be amazing, but we put ourselves through so much in the very beginning half of this year. I mean, 2 fresh back-to-back IVF cycles is so intense. One by itself is intense, but to do it twice and then to get sick from it, and your emotions are a total roller coaster. That's another side effect of getting off the medication. I'm so emotional, it's annoying. But we just want to take a really nice, relaxing break from all of it, and I feel like, God has his hands all over this, and there's a reason why he's allowing time for us to rest. So I'm working my way through everything. I feel really good about where we're at. I don't expect to update you guys with anything because I have nothing to update you on, and I don't like to make videos just to make videos. So if you have any questions about my experience, please leave them below. I'm pretty much an open book these days with everything I've gone through. And if there's anything I can, put some clarity on, if you have to go through anything similar, let me know and I'll try to walk you through it. Other than that, I hope everyone's doing well. You all are in my prayers. I started a prayer book, which is my little, I don't know, it's just a little prayer book, and inside of it I would put people's specific names and why I'm praying for them, and it makes me feel closer to you guys because I'm not just praying for everyone in the TTC community all at once for a big genre. I'm praying, specifically for what you're going through. So I feel like it's my little way of doing my part for this community, that you guys are seriously all in my prayers, and that I can't thank you guys enough for keeping me in yours. So thank you. I'm getting the lights turned out on me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this video was helpful. And hopefully, if time flies, I will be updating you guys soon. Bye!